Alrighty, welcome everybody. 7 o'clock on Saturday, March 14th. And as promised, I am doing a Facebook Live. This is a public video. I don't do many public videos from my personal page, but this is a public video on how I am dealing as an entrepreneur, as a business coach, as a mom, as a daughter, as a wife, and as a community leader with what's going on in the world, okay? And I'm bringing it to everybody. I'm going to make this available to my clients, to my list, all of that good sort of stuff, because I really believe that now is the time that we can step in and we can lead in a way that makes a difference with our communities, okay? So what does that, what does that mean and what does that look like? Well, I approach my life. So many of you know me as the CEO of Dirigo Food Safety. A lot of you on my Facebook page know me as a life coach. I have friends and family who are watching this video, and you've seen the transformation that I've been through over the past 2 years. I've lost 85 pounds. I have quit drinking. I have created a stable foundation in my company that's going to create a $75 million business. Since I have started this journey, I've made over $1 million working with the people who I meant to work with to create national security through food security. This is stuff that really means something to me, right? It's a Saturday morning. I was supposed to be in Texas this weekend, and my conference got canceled. And instead of working on stuff like that, I'm here working with you guys, bringing this stuff out there because I think it's so important that we manage the brain chaos that's going on, because it's a pain in the neck that there isn't toilet paper out there. I'm not gonna lie, I'm a returned Peace Corps volunteer. Not having toilet paper, not the first time in my life I haven't had toilet paper. Okay, and so I think that it's a real gift that over the course of my lifetime I've been able to develop the skills that allow me to manage my own brain, so that I can be present, so that I can lead right now in a way the world is calling me to. My clients are freaking out, okay? My clients who have restaurants and nobody's showing up to the restaurants. My clients that are running wholesale food, they're afraid all of their employees are going to stay home because their orders are going through the roof. Because who knew? When we make food in this country, we can actually feed ourselves, which might be what I've been saying for 15 years, right? But underlying it all, underlying the Facebook posts and the constant refreshing of the feed and the checking and the checking and the checking is we're all freaking out and we're hyping ourselves up because we're making ourselves more scared. And I'm going to teach you today what it means to not be scared, okay, or to accept it. And I'm going to tell you the tools and techniques that I use on my very own self to do this. And I'm going to start out by telling you what happened over the past couple of days. I took a trip with my mom. Okay, my mom's over 80 years old. She's in excellent health. We came home from our trip. She left. We were in Florida. We were in Broward County, Florida, where we've had people die, right? My mom was there with me. Their congressman was making fun of the whole thing, right? Wasn't really great, okay? Business meeting in Plano, Texas this weekend. So my mom, and we had been before we got to Florida. My mom and I made the decision that my mom would go home on Thursday because by then it was becoming very clear people over 60 shouldn't fly. So we were taking one action. She was going to go back home here to Maine. I was going to go on to Texas, and that's what we did on Thursday. We left Miami International Airport in the 10 o'clock hour. My mom went home. I went to Dallas-Fort Worth. By the time I was getting my bags in Dallas-Fort Worth, so between the time I got off the plane and was getting my bags, my business meeting was canceled. I had a couple of options. I could freak out and be angry that I had, oh my God, I could have gone home. Or I could have like gone and been with the other coaches I was like spending the weekend with. Or I could walk upstairs at Dallas-Fort Worth and go and rebook home. Here's what I actually did. I took a deep breath. I texted my husband and I went home. I didn't leave the airport. I'd already been gone from home for like 11 or 12 days at that point. And I went upstairs and I talked to the American Airlines folks. And I was like, how do I rebook? What do I do? And they're like, it's not a big deal. You have to go down this way. And as I was turning and walking away, the woman at the counter went like this and put her hands in her mouth and started chewing on her fingernails. And I whipped around and I was like, hey, you work with the public. Okay, I noticed your nails are long and you just put your hands in your mouth. You've got to be safe. You've got to keep the public safe. You've got to keep your family safe. Why don't you cut off those nails? Here, look at the live video I did on Twitter from the North Terminal in Miami in Miami International Airport, about cutting your nails off so that you can wash your hands. In that moment, she apologized for putting her hands in her mouth and said, oh, we're all freaking out. And I was like, I totally get it. Let me tell you, I'm a subject matter expert in washing your hands. And she's like, you are? What? And I talked to her about the videos. She's like, write this down to me. I'm going to pass it along to my union. Okay. And I gave her all the information. I pointed her to the videos that y'all have probably already seen. I went downstairs, I got my bag, I went back upstairs, I went to the ticket counter, and I rebooked my ticket, and I came home. I was home by Thursday, 4 airports, and I was snuggled. It was amazing. And yesterday, I like went to work because you know what? I was made for this moment, and I believe I was a peer. I was an Army officer. I'm a public health veterinarian that teaches people how to make food and do good manufacturing practices. Like, if the world needs me right now. Okay? And I really, truly believe I have been training my entire life for this moment, to help people get through this moment, to help my clients, help my family, help my communities, okay, to get through this moment, because this is who I am, okay? And you all know that, right? And so, but last night, I was lying in bed, Andrew was reading to the kids, and my brain starts freaking the fuck out, okay? It just goes on overdrive. And for those of you who know, I have an anxiety disorder. It's medically controlled, better living through chemistry. I love it. But sometimes my brain gets the best of me. And I texted my brother to deal with like part of the problem because I was afraid to call my mom and see how she was doing because my kids were next to me and I didn't want my kids to freak out that my mom was sick. All right. So, you know, sandwich generation, right? And then we finished reading and I got to work on my brain. And when I get to work on my brain, I want to show you the process that I use, okay? This is called the proofing box, and I use it with my clients, but I use it with my clients because I use it on myself, all right? And this is the process I do for everything. I do this process on multiple things like every single solitary day. When I say I spend 2 hours a day managing my mind, this is about, and it has made all the difference in the world. I mean, all the difference in the world. I am so present as a wife. I am so present as a mother, as a CEO, right? As a boss, as a friend, as a leader, because I do work, and I'm going to share it with you now, okay? The first thing I want you to think about, though, is not freaking out as a choice. The same way freaking out is a choice, okay? If you're a parent, all right, you know at some point when the kids are producing crocodile tears, they're choosing to freak out. You've seen it. I've seen it. We've all seen it, right? You know when to freak out. If you can choose to freak out, you cannot freak out. All right? And so I want to show you the proofing box. So this is the proofing box, all right? In your proofing box, You create your life, and you get to choose how that life is going to look, right? Thank you, Christine. Sorry, I'm glad you're enjoying it. All right. And also, I just had Christina put a note in the comments. Everybody, like, ask me questions in the comments. I am totally here for you. This is what I am doing right now. I'm totally here for you. All right. So the first thing that I want you to ask yourself is, what result are you trying to create? Okay? Not freaking out is a great result. However, not freaking out is an absence. Okay? Don't think of a white elephant. What do y'all think of? A white elephant. Okay? So one of the first things to do is recognize that you've got to put into language the result that you want to have happen. Okay? And so I want you right now, get a pen and paper if you don't already have one, all right, to think about what it means in a phrase that doesn't use the word not, because that's not how your brain works. All right? How you want to be in this moment, how you want to be present in this moment. Okay? And last night, when my brain was going, I decided I want to feel my negative emotions. I've been doing this work for a very long time, and negative emotions don't scare me. All right? So that's what I decided I want. Okay? So I want you to write a sentence that starts with, I want something, and not I want to not, because that's a little harder, all right? We can get there, but that's a little harder. I want to be calm. I want to be a good mom. I want to be a good dad. I'm the CEO. You can write it in the comments right here. Tell me what positive result you want. Right now, present in this situation. Because you know how Mr. Rogers always said, and this comes up, unfortunately, after a lot of shootings. As many of you know, I'm from Newtown. Okay? After Newtown happened, we used Mr. Rogers' phrase. We used a lot of phrases, but one of the ones that we used in explaining to the kids what was going on is look for the helpers. You know what the helpers want? The helpers want a positive result in negative situations. Helpers know that that is totally possible. Okay? I want help in my family and in my community. I want to help. Look at those beautiful thoughts. Look at us as beautiful human beings, okay, wanting the things that we want that create the life that we have, all right? That's amazing and that's beautiful. Thank you for contributing. Okay? Now, here's what usually happens. You say, I want this, and then your immediate thing is to say, how do I do that? Dr. P, how do I do that? I get this like all the time. I want to start a food business. Dr. P, how do I write a HACCP plan? I want to invite you into the idea that it's never how, okay? And give you a concept that has dramatically changed my life. Changed everything about my life. If I can think it, I can do it. My thoughts create my results. And so what I want to invite you to do today is to try on the idea that when you decide what you want, your next step is to manage your mind. All right? I'm today doing this, and it's dramatic and life-changing and wonderful. It doesn't mean I don't feel negative emotion. I promise you I feel negative emotion. Yesterday, when I said I want to feel negative emotion, it's because I know dramatic and changing work is available to me. Stand in failure. That because I've trained myself to do it, and I'm starting to train you. Okay? And this is a way to practice doing this. This is a learned and learnable skill. Work with hundreds of life coaches that teach this in all walks of life. And if you think life coaching would be helpful for you and you aren't somebody who's in food or food business, I 100% guarantee I know somebody who you and your life issue is their jam, and they are all about helping you. Okay? And so if I have coaches, I know I have coaches here, if you want to say, hey, my jam is helping whoever you will, see it in the comments. Okay? Because my jam is helping food entrepreneurs build their business, right? But we're people first, so I teach this, and I'm teaching it, right? When you figure out your mind, anyhow is possible. Okay? Anyhow is possible. Watch any hero movie. Any hero movie at all. One I just happen to be thinking about is the one about the black women who helped us get into space, right? The name is completely escaping me right now. And what they thought they needed to do, okay, was figure out the trajectory so people wouldn't die upon re-entry, all right? They wanted people to not die. I get that. That's an excellent thing for NASA to want, right? I want people to not, however, is pretty challenging. And the movie, as you'll remember, is somebody learning to manage their minds around the fact that black women can do math and do it at the highest levels and help white men. When they managed their mind to that, the how became possible. When I decide I want the results in my life of losing all the weight, if I just go to process, I diet, I restrict. I mean, I think diet says he spends 32 years of her life on a diet, okay? And my guess for men is it's not that much less, right? When you say, I want to lose weight, and the first thing you do is diet, you know where that gets you, okay? When you say drinking, and the first thing you do is throw away all the alcohol, all you have is your urge to drink. All you have is your urge to eat, right? I know this, I went through it, right? If instead you say, I want to lose all the weight, I'm going to use my brain to do it, anyhow is possible. And this is how I use my brain, okay? To create my life. I'm going to give you a thought to come. I am enough right now. You are enough right now for this present moment, for this present situation. You are enough. What you are feeling right now is exactly right, and you are enough. And if you don't believe you're enough right now, borrow my belief in you, because I believe that you are enough, that we are enough right now. I have worked with people across the spectrum, okay? Across the neurodiversity spectrum. I have worked with them across race spectrums, class spectrums, educational spectrums, everything. I have learned that we are enough as human beings. I am enough right now. You are enough right now, okay? And I want you, if you don't think anything else at all or get nothing else away from this presentation, I want you to know that you are enough right now to deal with what you have to deal with, okay? The truth of the matter is coronavirus is going to go away. We're going to get another virus. We veterinarians who work in public health have been preparing for this moment for more than one professional generation. We've known this is coming, okay? This is why the veterinarians aren't really freaking out, okay? And so we know because we've trained for this, all right? But guess what? So have you. You have been through things in your life that you can use to say, you're right, I am enough. Brain is not going to want you to hear for your brain to tell you love, but that's just because you're used to thinking it, okay? What if you got used to thinking, I am enough right now. Okay? So try that thought on for size, and I want you to go through an exercise with me. Okay? So, your I want statement from back here. All right? I want, all right, so for me it was to feel my negative, all right? Believe in my life coaching. Like, I remember when I started this, I was like, they want to feel their negative emotions? What's up with that? That seems terrible. I thought I was supposed to be life coaching so I never have to feel my negative emotions again. I have gotten to the point, I've been doing this for 2 years, where I really do want to feel my negative emotions. It's hilarious that this changes. Okay, and my coaches tell me that there will be a point where I think not drinking is more fun than drinking. Haven't gotten to that point yet. Still not drinking. Okay? All right, I want to feel my negative emotions. I want you to take this sentence that you created, all right, and I want you to write and I want you to write this acronym, WATER, down the side of the paper, okay? And when you do that, all right, I want you to follow along with me. The W in WATER stands for, what do I want? All right? And I'm going to take you through a series of questions because the questioned mind is the kind mind, all right? And one of the best things I've ever learned to do in my entire life, and I've learned to do a whole lot of things, okay, I've learned how to bring people into the world, and one of the best things I've ever learned to do in my entire, okay, is to question my own mind. It is truly the path, is not the path to never feeling pain. It's the path to freedom. All right? So, the W in WATER stands for want. What do you want? Okay? I want negative emotion. All right? I'm a doctor. I write in symbols. Okay. Then my next question for you, the A in WATER is act. When I want to feel this, when I want to do this action, whatever it is that you want right here, how do I act? When I want to feel my negative emotion, I self-coach. This is my self-coaching process, okay? I self-coach. I tap, all right? For those of you who are unfamiliar, go look up emotional freedom technique. It's called tapping. It's very effective. All right? I talk to, all right? I talk to my brother, shouting, right? When I want to feel my negative emotion, what do I do? All right? I stay present. I stay present in my own body and feel where that negative emotion is. All right? The T in WATER stands for turn, face the truth of what you're feeling. Okay? It is incredibly important to name our feelings. All right? I use a feelings wheel. Like, it's literally saved as a PDF on my phone. Okay? Turning inside and facing the truth of your feelings is a learned and learnable skill. You have feelings. Everything, every action you did right here is because you had a feeling about it. Every single one. Everything you've ever done, whether you went and got a DVM like me, whether you had kids, married your spouse, divorced your spouse, got a job, lost a job, all of it is because there are feelings. My kids are going through puberty, right? The very first part of their brain to develop is their amygdala. It's these feelings. It is like literally the most active part of their brains right now. It is the seat of their feelings, and our feelings are very intense. Very intense. And we as children developed mechanisms like anxiety to share the emotional and feel because we literally don't have the neurons to cope with it. We don't have because it takes time for human brains to develop it. 25 years, guys, your prefrontal cortex doesn't develop until you're 25. So if you're under 25 and you're watching this, all right, you literally don't have the neurons. All right, so turn and face the truth of your feelings. When I did this last night and I was writing, I was afraid. But you know what I found? What I was mostly afraid of was the anxiety and how my anxiety makes me feel. All right? I wasn't actually feeling the anxiety. Okay? So I was feeling afraid, and I was feeling anxious, and I was feeling hopeful, because I believe with no evidence that if I feel my emotions, my life is going to be a whole lot different, and I am going to be the person the universe means me to be. Okay? Because I've trained myself to think that, and I've heard it so many times from my coaches. I was afraid, I was anxious, and I was hopeful. Okay? When we have these feelings, okay, and we recognize these, we start building evidence, all right? So the E in water stands for evidence. What evidence am I building that I am feeling these feelings? And this is very important because so many of you need to learn how to feel your feelings, okay? Evidence are you building that these are the feelings that you're feeling? What evidence are you building that this is going to be hard or this is going to be easy? Because that's what our brains do. Like, we have a feeling, and then we string together evidence about our actions in our lives that gives it meaning. Okay? And I mean, we are story-making machines. And we create a story. That story is your evidence. And when I wrote down this word first, second, I realized my fear and my anxiety are two different things. And I have spent so much time coaching myself on my fear. My anxiety is actually not that big of a deal. I'm afraid of the anxiety. Okay? So what evidence am I building? Fear and anxiety are two different things. I didn't know that until yesterday. Okay? So, for those of you who are like, oh my God, Michelle, you have your shit together. Hey, guess what I found out yesterday? Fear and anxiety. Two different emotions. Right? But you know what that allowed me to do? Is it allowed me to say, oh, fear. Well, I do shit because I'm afraid all the time. Like, I'm really good at that. I'm afraid and I do stuff anyway. I have a Facebook Live. I'm terrified nobody's going to show up. You know what? I do it anyway. Okay? Fear and anxiety are two different things. Neither of them are me. Okay? And you know what I found out last night? Is that anxiety is really way worse than my anxiety itself. I have a diagnosed anxiety disorder. Okay? I have been told that my anxiety is like the worst thing in the whole entire world. It really does feel like the worst thing in the whole entire world. All right, and for those of you who have it, you know what I'm talking about, right? It's crippling and paralyzing. But what I found out yesterday is that when I fear of my from the anxiety, all right, all of a sudden that fear dissipates. Because I know I can deal with it. If you go through all of this sort of stuff, all of these steps, all the water steps, what do I want? How do I act when I want it? If I turn and face the truth of my feelings, what am I feeling? What evidence am I building in my head? What's the story I'm building around all of this? what you're going to create a result. Okay? Result I created, I felt my negative emotions. Right? Now, when you do this long enough, you recognize what your results are pretty fast after you go through all this, okay? And very often, if you are going through all of this, your results are totally going to tie back to what you want, because what you want is repeat after me, what I want in my life is a thought. My thoughts create my results, okay? My thoughts create my results all the time, all right? What I wanted to do was feel my negative emotion, all right? When you are turning and facing the truth of your feelings, by and large, you are probably going to have mixed emotions. You're going to have mixed emotions. We are human beings. Every emotion that you have is tied to a thought, okay? And we can clean this up, and I can take it, if it's anybody's interested, I can take it down to one thought and one feeling and one action, and it'll all be the same result, because the whole idea is to get my emotions, feeling my emotions, okay? But when you figure out what emotions you are feeling and you actually feel them, so emotions are things that create sensations in our body, okay? And those sensations in our body really feel like something. Like, I'm feeling really vulnerable right now, guys. You know, like, there's so many... I tell you are who I want to be when I grow up. And I'm sitting here telling you about how I was freaking out last night and how I was a complete hot mess. Kind of vulnerable, but like, whatever. I do a lot of shit in the face of fear, right? I will tell you, fear. I've stood in front of a gun to prevent an honor. All right, my Peace Corps friends who are paying attention probably remember that one. All right, I do stuff in the face of fear because I don't know, something about my brain allows me to override and react in the instant. Probably why I became a doctor. All right, and so I felt my emotions. Here's where your brain is gonna freak the fuck out, because that's what brains do. That is what your brain does, is it freaks out. She says that in addition to this sentence, because I want to re-emphasize to you right now, nothing is going wrong. Even after you do this whole water exercise, you are enough right now. You are enough right now. Sitting here with presence and acceptance of what's going on in your brain, you are enough right now. Okay? So, I say to yourself, I'm enough right now. Shit down all the time. Okay? I am enough right now. Alright? You're going to go through, or you have just gone through, a water model, alright, that you want. And you've picked, and you've like found the emotions that you want. You're finding the story that you're telling yourself about those emotions. And you're looking at the result that you're creating. Alright? Brain probably freaking out, because that's what brains do. Here's the next sentence that's changed self-permission to feel. Okay? Giving yourself the feelings you are already feeling is totally life-changing. Life is 50-50, folks. I am not selling you unicorns and daisies. I don't want you to feel good all the time. I don't want me to feel good all the time. Not possible. I'm not going to tell you that. I do not, like, the law of attraction thing I connect with, okay? We're going to feel abundant and, I don't know, unicorns, roses, cupcakes. Who knows? That's not the shit I deal with, okay? I give myself to feel, okay? What if you took all of these emotions that you wrote here and say, I give myself permission to be afraid. I give myself permission to be anxious. I give myself permission to be hopeful. Because here's what happens. People think that they can feel all of their emotions, or they don't have any emotions. They make decisions devoid of emotion, which is never what happens, okay? If you give your positive emotions and your negative emotions, positive emotions, that you actually do need self-permission to feel your positive emotions. So for all of y'all who have ever had a loved one, okay, friend, brother, mom, dad, kid, okay, and you've looked at them once and you thought your heart would break with how much you loved them, right? So many of us, our very next thought is something bad is going to happen. Brené Brown tells a story in one of her books about an emotion she calls foreboding joy, where she was standing over her daughter, looking at her little toes, and she loved her so much, and in the next instant, the question is, what if something bad happens? Right? My mother, on Thursday, in the airport in Miami, and I had set everything up so that she could get a wheelchair, so that she could get home, so that we could do what we needed to do. I looked at her in this face that has cared for me for my entire life, and I said, oh my God, what if what I'm doing isn't enough and I have exposed my mother and coronavirus is going to kill her? In that moment, I had all of these emotions, joy and excitement that she was going to get home, right? Joy and excitement that at that point my brain chose. I could have had joy at that meeting. I could have had sadness at that departure. My brain chose, Michelle, you killed your mother. Fun thing brains are, right? If I had just in that moment given myself permission to feel the mixed emotions that I felt, and me not joining her and me going off, and self permission to feel those emotions, that whole Michelle, you've killed your mother sort of thing wouldn't have wound itself up to me lying in bed Friday night freaking out texting my brother. I realized this and I did the thought work, and now that's why I can bring it to you today, because I'm really not in that space anymore. I am not in fear. I am not in anxiety. I really don't think my mother is going to die. I think we are practicing social isolation. We're doing it properly. Like, we're doing all the things. Like, you'll notice I took my ring off like I said I was gonna in that hand washing video. All right? But it's because I give myself permission to feel my emotions. Get yourself a just download a PDF. Get yourself a feelings wheel and give yourself permission to feel your emotions. And that is how you're not going to freak out. Because if you're actually feeling your emotions, that's what your brain is going to be occupied doing. Alrighty? So, if you have any questions, I can stick around and answer questions. I will be, as some of you saw in my Facebook post, I'm putting a social media protocol into place because it's just winding my brain up, and it's not doing me any good. We are doing everything that we can here. What the Trump administration is doing, whether or not I get called up, those things doesn't do me any good to figure. I'm sit here. I'm going to give myself permission to feel all of my emotions, to feel the love and connection I have with family, to feel the fear that maybe I might get called up. I'm a commissioned officer. I can get called up for the rest of my life. Okay? I give myself permission to feel all of those things. Give yourself permission to feel this weekend. Okay? Just give yourself permission to feel it all. I promise you can do it. All right? I am here for you. Ask me questions. Direct message me. If you think this is going to be helpful for somebody, this is a public video. It's going to go up on the YouTube channel. Send this video to somebody. I am here for you. I want to help you. I am born and made for this moment. Okay? And I love you all. And I'm so thankful you took some time on your Saturday to join me. I am going to be on my, if you're a business owner, I'm going to be on my Facebook group, I think. No, I'm going to pig some more about this sort of stuff. So that's for people who like cure meat for a living. And I'm going to be on my Facebook group all week this week doing lives. It's called The Proofing Box. I'll probably come back on my page. Okay. Doing lives. Ask me your questions. I am here to help. I have 100% dealt with this in my own mind. Okay. And I'm here for you. All right. I love you all. You are all completely amazing. And other than that, have a fabulous Saturday. And I will be checking back in after I don't get to your question. It's not because I don't love you and I'm ignoring you. It's because I'm instituting a protocol because I'm setting boundaries for myself. Once I feel all my feelings, I know how to set boundaries for myself. I know how to manage my time, how to schedule my time, all that sort of stuff. I'll probably be doing that as a Facebook Live very soon too. All right. I love you very, very much. Have a Saturday full of awesome, everybody. Bye-bye.